Hey everyone, I wanted to show you something really cool. So there is a way that we can map out faults and things like that without even stepping foot into the field. They do have to be more recent, like within the past couple 10,000 years, but there is a way that we can do it, and I'm going to show you. So first off, this is a map of Twin Lakes, Idaho, which was my thesis work area, and I'm going to switch over to shaded relief, which is LIDAR. Basically, this strips back the vegetation so that we can see the ground surface without all the trees and shrubs and things. You can see there's a huge difference here, and now you can see these little lines that are starting to appear that are trending north and south, like this one under my cursor. This is actually a fault. And there is another one right here. There's actually quite a few that are in this graphic. This one kind of comes down and into the lake and then twists around. And the way that I verified whether or not these were accurate is I did find this little outcrop over here that did show me the surface of the rock and the faults that were in it, and I did actually map those, and those did correspond correctly to the faults that were above them as well. So you can see it's a huge difference in area as far as what you can see and what not. If we come over to Riverside over here, this is the Riverside fault, which was mapped out by Susanne, Janecke, and Bob Oates Jr. You can see that this is cutting through a lot of the drainage that's coming down into the basin, and this is a criteria that we look for when we're looking for faults and fault scarps, is to see exactly, what looks irregular and what doesn't look normal. There's some other cool things that you can see with LIDAR. This is the Bear River bottoms, and as you can see, these are scarps from the land surface slipping and basically landslides that were occurring down into the floodplain. And then you can see that the river came through and cut through them, meaning that those landslides were there before the river was in this placement. And another criteria that we look for is you can see these are shorelines from Lake Bonneville, which was present in Utah. And if I change over and I add contours, I can see that what is shoreline versus what is fault is determined also upon what cuts through these contours. Water's going to follow the contours of the land, and fault scarps are not. So as you can see, a lot of these follow the contours. They might be a little bit off, they're not perfect, but they are following an overall shape. If we come up towards Oxford, we can see that there are several up here that cut through those contour lines. Those are fault scarps, or they could be head scarps of a landslide, but they are not shorelines and warrant further inspection.